Hey Queens, we are officially live for the day 2 boundary setting challenge. I feel like that's a little bit better. Cool. I am so excited for today's lesson or today's, I don't know, masterclass. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I actually thought that we're going to talk about what boundaries actually are and really get into that. But actually, we're going to do that tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about how to really create boundaries in your life that you can actually stick to. And then I'll talk about an action plan and things like that. I have like a little gap in my bangs that are driving me crazy. Anyway, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. I actually was guided to do things a little bit differently today. And so that's actually what we're going to do. At first, we are going to talk about misconceptions about boundaries, and then we are going to talk about releasing misconceptions, releasing stories, releasing rules, and doing those things. And we'll go into a guided meditation to actually release them, because I want you to be able, when you go in tomorrow's session, I want you to feel like you can really put boundaries into place. So let me start up my computer. So I don't have a babysitter this week, and my mom's supposed to be helping me watch my niece and my daughter, and she's gone. I don't know where she is. So things have been a little bit crazy, which is really interesting because that's pretty typical of my mom. Don't tell her I said that. All right. Let me get started. I'm sorry. I know that you guys came here for a reason and that I need to be prepared, but I'm not. So that's just life sometimes. So if you're on, let me know that you're on. Say hello. Let me know where you're calling in from. Let me mute myself. I am super, super excited about today's session. Again, we are going to go into misconceptions about boundaries, and then we're going to go into releasing them. If you are new, let me know that you're new. If you're a veteran, you've been in here for a while, let me know. Just hop on, say hello. What I would love to hear about is if you watched yesterday's class, either on replay or live, I would love to hear about what the journaling prompts brought into your awareness, any aha moments, any breakthroughs. I would absolutely love to hear about those, because those are absolutely exciting. That's what all of this is about, is to create that awareness. So while you're letting me know how your homework went, your journaling prompts went with ahas and breakthroughs, I'm going to let you know I am Angela. I am the founder of AsFreeAsYouSee. I'm a breakthrough coach. I help women trauma survivors heal and break free from the past so that they can thrive and live in peace and freedom and self-confidence. And today's lesson or masterclass is all about helping you understand misconceptions about boundaries and also helping you release them. So we actually are going to go into a guided meditation later today. If that's not something that you're comfortable with, I will let you know that we're going to go into it before we actually start. Guided meditations do not mess you up. They don't do anything, but they do. Our whole goal on this guided meditation, or intention, if you will, is so that you can release any rules, so that you can release any stories and any misconceptions around boundaries. So when we go diving real deep tomorrow about how to set these boundaries, how to create these boundaries, how to understand these boundaries, you can actually do it. Because if you are still attached to any of these rules, any of these stories and misconceptions, then you're not going to be able to dive fully into setting boundaries that you feel comfortable with. And that's why I want to do the guided meditation. And that's also why I wanted to do this today instead of just diving right into that. So Andrea says, hello, big things happening and life will try to take us out. Yeah, for showing up in all ways. I was afraid to hold strong to my boundaries because of negative reactions for holding people accountable for pushing my boundaries. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely love both of those. we do, and we tend to be afraid of the reaction of other people. And if you have any trauma in your life, because of course you do, because you're here, you will do whatever it takes to stay safe. And in our minds, staying safe means avoiding conflict, avoiding arguments, avoiding yelling, avoiding anything that is in any type of unsafe nature, which means that even if your partner or whoever says that it's not safe to be you or have these feelings or have these boundaries, they pretty much tell you that in so many ways, and we interpret the information that way, especially if we feel unsafe in our bodies. So I absolutely understand that. I 100% get that. What I want to let you know is that even though we are going to go into like misconceptions, even though we're going to go into releasing boundaries, and then tomorrow we're going to dive deep into actually how you can do this, creating your boundaries and standing strong in your boundaries is always a practice, okay? There are going to be some days where you're really good with it and some days where you suck at it. And that's just part of the process. It's part of the journey. I want you to know that it's completely okay and it's completely normal. And what you want to do is when those things happen where you really had a shitty day at holding strong in your boundaries, is just be like, you know what? We weren't really good at it. That's okay. It's not a big deal, because a lot of healing is a lot of unlearning. So that means that you kind of have to unlearn how to let go of that. Keeping yourself safe is actually staying quiet, because it actually isn't keeping you safe at all. One of the stories I tell myself is I'm being in control by setting those boundaries. And that's actually a really empowering story to create. And I want you to hold on to that. As long as you are not attempting to control other people with these boundaries. And I'm saying that because a lot of the time, especially when we have fear-based programming, a lot of our boundaries is actually based on pushing people away and not necessarily what boundaries truly are. And so boundaries, sometimes we misinterpret them as we're going to keep ourselves guarded. And that's actually really a huge misconception that we'll get into. And you can actually talk about it now. There's a difference between guarding your heart, keeping walls up, and keeping people at a distance. There's a difference in those three things in actually setting boundaries. Okay. I want you to be very aware of that. We have an ego. There's nothing wrong with your ego. Okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your ego when you learn how to train your ego to use it as a tool. Okay. I'm not about rejecting your ego, because it's actually rejecting a part of you. And if you have grown up with trauma, if you've been experiencing any type of abandonment or rejection or betrayal your whole life, what is that doing? That's telling yourself that it is unsafe to be you because you have an ego, and that's not what we want. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that tangent, but I want you to be aware that sometimes we do things because we have fear-based programming. And again, I talked about this yesterday. The best way to let go of this fear-based programming, of course, is to reset and rewire your nervous system so that you can be in a place to open your heart and shift your mindset, okay? And this is something that I work one-on-one with my clients with. But right now, what we're going to do is we're creating this awareness so that you know how to do these things no matter where you're at, because you're essentially trying to create safety in your life. If you're a trauma survivor, you did not experience any type of safety when you were younger. So what happened is that your brain or your ego creates these defense mechanisms so that you can keep yourself safe, but it's not actually real safety. It's completely false. And that's why we fall to the trap of keeping people at an arm's distance, keeping our heart guarded, keeping these walls up. And that's not what boundary setting is like at all. It's not. And I am so guilty of this, and I used to do this a lot, is that I thought that I was so strong in my boundaries that it actually created isolation, right? It actually created the opposite, right? Because when you're essentially setting boundaries or creating these boundaries that we will get into and dive deep into tomorrow, you really are seeking genuine connection. You are really seeking and teaching people how to actually treat you by the relationship that you have with yourself. And we see this stuff on memes all the time, but it's really true. But I used to be like so toxically independent that I would push everybody away, and I was just like, well, they crossed my boundaries, it's their fucking problem. Well, what I realized is that a lot of it was based on fear-based programming, and that is not our goal of setting these types of boundaries at all. Our goal with setting these boundaries is helping you create a structure, helping you teach people how to treat you, and creating genuine connections, and how essentially you treat yourself. And again, we're going to dive deep into that. Okay. So again, I want you to be aware. Are you setting boundaries by fear-based programming, by keeping people at an arm's length, of being afraid to build connections with people? I want you to very much be aware of this, because if you are doing those things, it actually backfires. And I want you to learn from my mistakes, because trust me, it does not feel good to be isolated at all. It's actually one of the worst things that I did as a coping mechanism from all of my trauma. When I started to like turn my life around or change or whatever, and I stopped drinking and partying and doing all these things. And I don't want to act like I don't drink. I do drink, but I was drinking to the point of it was becoming a problem. And I was drinking to avoid myself. I don't do that now. But when I stopped that, I felt like I was so unworthy of having these genuine connections and these relationships, because I thought people only wanted to be around me because of the way that I looked, or because I was partying, or because I had all this money and stuff like that. And so I created huge isolation because I was afraid of that, because I started to turn my life around. And isolation does not feel good. It is one of, if you know anybody that's isolated, if you yourself is isolated, it is actually very much a coping mechanism, and it is to keep people out because they're scared to be connected, because they have obviously experienced trauma in some type of way, whatever that looks like for them. So please be aware of that. I want you to learn from those mistakes, because the truth is that I'm paying for it now dearly, because now that I spend most of my time online, and I love all of you in the community that has been created under this healing, I don't have like a lot of friends in my physical reality that I feel very connected to. And so now I'm trying to find connections now that I feel comfortable with who I am, and I feel confident in being weird and being myself and stuff like that. It's been very hard for me to create those connections with women that I'm looking for. And so I want you to be aware that this is what happens when we create boundaries based on fear-based programming that we absolutely do not want. Okay, let me know if this is resonating with you. Let me know if you have any questions. Another common misconception about boundaries is that everything is about saying no. And that is absolutely not true. Okay, I will say this again. Boundaries is not just about saying no. And when I see posts and I see memes and all of these things that people say about boundaries, it pisses me off, okay? It pisses me off because not everything is about no. And the thing is that we think that it is, right? We think that boundaries are these guards, are these walls, because we need to have all this protection. We don't actually need protection. Again, that comes from fear-based programming. If you really are seeking healing, if you really are seeking to change your life, and I really shouldn't be saying seeking, because it's not a very good energy, but if you were really looking to be on the journey of healing, you don't essentially need any protecting, okay? Boundaries are not walls, okay? We just talked about this, about how we do it to keep people at an arm's length and do all of these things, right? That's fear-based programming, and we don't want that anymore. Boundaries are not just about no, okay? And on a deeper level than that, a really common misconception with setting boundaries is cutting people out of your life that are toxic, that, rain on your parade, that aren't happy, that just gossip and vent and do all of these things. Now, I am a huge believer that your healing journey is going to look different than mine, okay? If you feel like it's absolutely conducive to your healing that you have to cut family members out of your life, that you have to cut certain people out of your life and stick them to these boundaries, I 100% get that, okay? I 100% get that. And I want you to do whatever it is that you have to do to heal, to feel good, to be happy, to create this life that you truly desire. And if that means that you've got to cut people out of your life, then girl, get it done, okay? I'm not even going to be mad at you. I don't judge you. But I don't think that you have to do that in order to heal. Okay, I think that we have gotten in our head, or there's been these stories and these rules created that in order to be able to heal or step into your power or do the things that you want to do, that you automatically have to cut people off. Okay, well, I've cut my mom off, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times, okay? And now that I have healed, now that I have changed, now that I have transformed, our relationship is very much different, okay? And now I'm not saying that that's going to be like that for everybody, okay? I'm not, and especially if your family members were the people that were doing the abuse, I'm not suggesting that you go and create these relationships that are not of reality, okay? And what I mean by that is that the likelihood of your family changing just because you are is very slim. Okay, that doesn't mean that eventually people won't get on the bandwagon and start to respect your journey and respect where you're at. It just means that you cannot expect people to change because you want them to. Okay, people do not change because you decided to change your life. It doesn't work like that. I wish that it did, but it doesn't work like that. So if you want to be able to keep people in your life because you don't want to cut people off, because you love them, because you want to be able to have a relationship with them, then you're allowed to do that. But you have to decide for yourself, and you are going to be the only one that can determine this. Is it conducive for my healing to be around these people or not? Okay. And only you can decide that. And when you decide that it's a yes, then you want to very much come into acceptance of who they are. Okay. And when you come into acceptance of who they are, then it very much gets easier to develop and have a relationship with them within your boundaries, within what you're comfortable with, whatever you feel like that is. And again, that's something that is going to be up to you, but that's something we'll dive in deep tomorrow. Only you can decide that. If it's a no, okay, and if it's an absolute no, then I want you to feel okay with that. And I want you to not see it as you're cutting them out, okay? Because we have a really hard time with cutting things out of our lives. It creates a struggle. It creates resistance. We're not good at removing. We're better at adding to our lives. So instead of being like, I'm cutting these people off, I'm removing them from my life, and that's just the way that it's going to be, whatever that looks like for you, I want you to stop saying that you're cutting these people off, that you're telling them no, that you've got these limits with these people. I want you to reframe it as, I'm making room for my healing. I am making room for my healing. I'm creating space for my healing. Because if you keep it as, I've cut these people out of my life, I've drawn these limits with these people, they no longer allowed in my life, you are not going to stand strong in these boundaries. And it's not because you're incapable. It's because it is much easier to add to your life than it is to cut out of your life. Does this make sense? This is why diets do not work, okay? Diets do not work because we are cutting or restricting out of our lives instead of attempting to reframe it as I am making space. I'm letting go of what no longer serves me. So I'm not going to eat junk food. I'm not going to do these things. I'm going to put healthy things into my diet. Okay. This is why diets don't work, because we are restricting and cutting things out of our lives. And naturally, that means that we put our brain into overdrive, into working when our brain is absolutely lazy. Okay. And it's designed to be. Okay. It's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Nancy says, I stopped hoping that my family would change their ways a long time ago. Good. I'm happy to hear that, because when you come into that acceptance, when you come into that reality, it makes things so much easier. The power out rather than owning our power, cutting out, blocking is denying the energy as there is to heal. Yes, absolutely. So I just want you to know that these are very common misconceptions, because for me, I have cut people. Okay, I don't want to act like I haven't cut people out of my life permanently. Okay, I'll give you a little story. I used to have this friend that I'd been friends with her since we were like 16. She's a year older than me. So I was like 15, 16, and she was like 16, 17, something like that. We have been friends for a super long time. We have been through a lot of shit in our life. And when I got pregnant, we were still friends, okay? And I got pregnant, Aubrey's 3. So I had Aubrey when I was 31. I'm 34 now. So that made her 35. So we have been friends for like, I don't know. You guys do the math for me. So it's like 19 years or something at this point. So we have been friends for a super long time, and I started healing. And I started really healing when I was pregnant with Aubrey. And she was saying weird things to me. And she had always said kind of weird things. And like weird things, when people give you like backhanded compliments, she would always say those types of things for me. And I didn't understand what they were until like later on, until at this point. She'd always said that kind of stuff to me. And I just always thought that she was kidding, because she's like, oh, I'm kidding. And when people do that, okay? When people do that, they're not actually kidding, okay? So when people give you backhanded compliments or say things that are kind of below the belt or weird or feel off, and then they say that they're kidding, they are not kidding, okay? Please, please, please understand that these people are not kidding. They say these things because there's an underlying reason, and they're just not comfortable with sharing what that underlying reason is, okay? Whether it's jealousy or they feel intimidated or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but they're not actually kidding. So she used to say these things to me that I thought were always weird, but I just always let them go. And then when I found out that I was having a little girl, which was a huge shock to me, okay? And it was a huge shock to me because I was desperately afraid that the same cycle would happen to my daughter, that she would be molested at the age of 3, and that she was going to go through this entire hell that I lived through because I wasn't with her father, okay? And I couldn't control what her father was doing, and I didn't understand any of that at the time, but I really did have this fear. And so I didn't message her about having a little girl. And when she found out that I was having a little girl, she was like, well, I can't see you having a little girl anyway, or said something like that. And I thought that was really weird. And then a few months went on, and then she said something that were kind of underline or below the belt type of things. And she had a very toxic relationship with her husband, who I believe is now her husband. And he was getting physical with her. And I would be there for her. I would tell her, we can come help you. I don't know how much help I can be, but we can come help you. Your dad can be there for you. She was really close with her family. I was like, you need to leave. You need to leave, and I will support you with leaving. And of course her comments, her one comment was, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be a single mom. And I was just like, well, that kind of sucks. And so of course it hurt. And then I was supposed to go there in a couple of months when she's having all these like really abusive fighting and arguments going on, and I'm pregnant. So I finally told her, I said, I love you. I will always love you. I will always care for you. I will always be there for you. I will always be your friend. I was like, but I cannot be in a friendship where I'm getting dragged along about whether or not you're going to stay with this guy that is physically abusive to you. I was like, I don't condone that. I don't want my daughter to think that that's okay. And by me being in a friendship with you, it's saying, number one, that I condone that. And it's telling my daughter that it's okay. But also it's triggering shit in me that I have been healing for a long time, and I'm getting pulled into the relationship too, and over and over and over and over. So I cut the relationship off because of those things. And because, she would say things like, oh, I don't want to be a single mom like you. Well, nobody actually wants to be a single mom. Okay, so I cut her off. And after I cut her off, she didn't respond to the text message because she lives in Texas. And I didn't hear from her for a long time. And it was like 2 weeks later that she finally responded. And the text that I got back was so ugly and nasty. And of course it hurt my feelings. I'm not going to act like it didn't. But it was so ugly and nasty that I knew that she was hurting and she was not ready to continue to be a part of my life and where I was at. So if I was still pregnant with Aubrey, so that was like 4 years ago-ish. So I still have not talked to her or not heard from her. So I want you to know that when I say these things about you don't have to cut people off, I don't want you to think that I've never actually cut people off like that it hurts and it digs deep and it means that, we feel that loss and we feel that grief and that pain that comes along with it, okay? I'm not asking you to avoid those things. I'm letting you know that I want you to do what is absolutely conducive to your healing. So just because I have not cut everybody off in my family doesn't mean that I haven't gone through the process of cutting people off or ending relationships that are not helping me heal. And we all unfortunately get to that point where we have to cut these relationships off. And that doesn't mean that it will be that way for you, but it does come a point where these people are really, I don't want to say they don't understand your healing. They just are not there yet in their journey, and that's completely okay. You're still allowed to love people from afar. You absolutely are allowed to do that. But I don't want you to believe that in order to set healthy boundaries means that you have to cut people off automatically because they said stupid shit to you, okay? That's not what this is about. We have to teach people how to treat us. And so that means that with our boundaries, it is about communicating that those certain things hurt our feelings, and we want them to be aware that those certain things hurt our feelings. People do not know if we do not communicate, okay? So just because people hurt our feelings or say stupid shit or do stupid things doesn't mean that we're going to automatically go and cut them off. What we're going to do is we are going to have a productive conversation with them so that we can make sure that our needs are getting met. Now, if that cycle continues where you've talked to them and they continuously do the same thing, then you've got to be able to draw the line. And again, we're going to get into that tomorrow. But I wanted to touch base on these misconceptions about everything is a guard, everything is to protect you, and everything is about saying no and setting limits and creating walls and cutting people off. It's not like that. It is not actually like that. And unfortunately, there is a huge misconception that it is, okay? And also another thing, while we're on the topic, there's a huge misconception about boundaries or energy or the way that we feel, that we are always supposed to be in this good vibes only frequency. And if you're not in good vibes, stay the fuck away from me. Number one, not everybody, especially if you have been through trauma, okay? Being in a good vibes only is avoidance, and it's toxic, and it's not real. Okay, not everybody feels good at every second of the day. Not everybody has a good day every single day for the rest of their lives. That's not how it works. So be aware of falling into the trap of good vibes only, because that is very much people try to stick their boundaries to good vibes. Well, the thing is that if you are not allowing all your emotions in, if you are not holding space for yourself, you are never going to be in good vibes only anyway. So people that run around and say, well, I only want people that are running on good vibes only, it's because they are avoiding themselves. So the truth is that you want all people at all capacity to be around, as long as they are conducive to your healing. And that means that they look like they're supporting you, they love you, they hype you up, they do these things. Even if they don't understand your journey, even if they are not a part of your journey, they are still very much supportive of it, okay? Good vibes only is toxic completely, okay? And not that you can't decide to wake up every morning and be like, today's going to be a good day. Doesn't mean that you can't make it a good day at every moment, at every time. You absolutely can. But please be aware of people that decide that they're going to create boundaries on good vibes only. Because if your friendships are based on good vibes only, and you feel like you can't reach out to people when you're having a shitty day, it is going to ruin your friendship, and it's not a real friendship, okay? Good vibes only is one of the most toxic things that I've seen get picked up in our society. Please be aware of that, okay? Please do not set your boundaries on whether or not people have good vibes. Now, that being said, energy is energy, okay? When you feel off about people, when you feel like you can't trust these people because there's something about them, I want you to very much trust yourself and trust your intuition. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to go and tell these people, well, I don't trust you and I don't know what it is, so you can't be around. Just remove yourself from the situation. Just stop texting them, especially if you don't really know who they are or have any type of relationship with them, right? You don't need to talk about it. Just remove yourself from the situation. That's not the kind of energy you want to be in, okay? This is very different than this good vibes only, okay? I want you to very much be in a situation where you trust your intuition and know whether or not that's a good person to be around. Now, that doesn't mean they're toxic. That doesn't mean that they're not a good person. It just means that they are not for you in this moment in time, and that's completely okay. You are not going to click with everybody. Not everybody is going to love you, and that's completely okay. And I actually talk about this in my other group all the time. You can feed homeless people, shelter homeless people, do things for homeless people, and people will still have something to say about it, okay? So you got to remember, not everybody is going to like you, and that is 100% okay. Okay, do we have questions? I know that was a lot of information to take in, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. While you're asking questions, we are going to get into a guided meditation. I want you to be aware that we are going to get into guided meditations. The purpose or the intention of today's guided meditation is to, one, release all these misconceptions that we've created around boundaries. Two, to release any unserving stories, to release anything that's holding you back, like rules, situations, experiences that have happened that are keeping you from setting boundaries and standing strong in them, right? So we're doing this. So tomorrow, when we dive deep into what boundaries actually are, then you're going to be like, oh, I feel like I can do this. I can take this on, okay? So I will give everybody a minute to ask any questions if you have them. I will also get ready to do this. Let me pick up something. Let me dig in my little box. Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, because it's already out. Okay, cool. This is what I was looking for. It's my little healing crystal that I got from someone from doing a live with them. And I've been super connected to it since I've had it. It's pretty cool. I love the thing. Okay, please let me know if you are ready to go into this guided meditation. You can say yes, you can give me hearts, whatever you want, and we will get into this. What I ask is that if you're driving or you're doing something, you should probably watch this on replay. Please do not drive while you're listening to this. Some people can, but please do not. Please be in a safe and sacred environment where you can really relax. If you are more comfortable lying down, please lie down, okay? I used to lie down in meditations all the time. Sometimes I still do because it's just more comfortable. I'm just really looking to go into a full body relaxation. Don't feel like you have to sit. Especially if it's uncomfortable for your hips and your legs and stuff like that. Please do not feel like you must, because those are the rules. Okay, it looks like we're ready. I am going to close my eyes. I ask that you close your eyes as well. I gotta get a drink. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. Get nice and comfy. And just allow yourself to be 100% supported where you are. Okay, good. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allowing yourself to relax. Allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into relaxation. Allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into peace. Allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into awareness. Good. Go ahead and take another deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Allowing your shoulders to drop. Allowing yourself to sink into where you are, feeling totally and completely supported. Going deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into peace. Good. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. Feeling completely at peace, completely relaxed, and completely aware, still feeling safe and comfortable, completely sinking into where you are. If you hear any outside noises like children, pets, cars, airplanes, just know that it's all okay. They're going to take you deeper and deeper into peace, deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into awareness, deeper and deeper into ease. Good. Today's intention is for us to release, let go, wash away any stories, any rules, any experiences that are preventing us from setting and standing strong in our boundaries. And I want you to go ahead and allow that intention to absorb into your body. Now I want you to surrender to it, completely letting it go, knowing that we will get there in perfect and divine timing. Good. Just allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into awareness. And remember, if you have any thoughts that are coming in, just know that it's okay and it's absolutely normal. You're going to let the thought come in and release it. Good. Feeling deeper and deeper into relaxation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a tension scan. And we're going to start at the crown of your head. And what you're going to do is you're going to let go, wash away, release any tension, any anxiety, any spinning, looping thoughts, any little voices. You're going to let it all go now. Good. Now I want you to drop into your third eye, which is just in between your eyebrows. And again, you're going to release, wash away, let go of any anxiety, any pain, any tension, anything that is distorting your reality. You're going to let it all go now. Good, good. Now I want you to drop into your throat. And again, you're going to release, let go, wash away any anxiety, any stress, any worry, any fears, any words that you spoke in a wrong way or ungracefully, any words that you spoke that you didn't really want to speak, or any words that you wanted to speak and that you didn't say. I want you to let them all go now. Good, good. Now I want you to drop into your heart. And again, you're going to let go, wash away, release any tension, any anxiety, any fear, any stress, any worry, any shortness of breath, anything that is keeping you from love. You're going to let it all go now. Good. Now you're going to drop into your solar plexus, which is just in between your ribs. And again, you're going to let go, wash away, release any tension, any pain, any stress, any anxiety, any worry, anything that is keeping you trapped, anything that is keeping you from feeling empowered. You're going to let it all go now. Good, good. Now I want you to drop into your sacral, which is just below your belly button. And again, you're going to let go, wash away, release anything that is unserving, any unserving emotion, any shame, any denial, any rejection, any abandonment. You're going to let it all go now. Good, good. Now I want you to drop into your root, which is just at your tailbone. And again, you're going to let go, wash away, release any tension, any soreness, any pain, any trauma that is lingering, any pain, any abuse, any uncertainty, any insecurity. You're going to let it all go now. Good, good. And any pain, any tension, any worry, any stress that are in your thighs, in your shins, in your feet, in your toes, you're going to release it all now and let it go into the earth. Good, good. If you're having any thoughts come into your mind, allow yourself to release them now. If you're still feeling any tension, just allow yourself to observe it and breathe into it and let it all go now. And make room and space so that you can totally and completely release as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into peace. And as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation, you're going to move up into your heart center again. And I want you to see your big, beautiful heart there. And I want you to let down any walls, any guards, any fences, anything that is keeping you from fully and completely opening your heart in your perfect and divine timing. And it doesn't matter how you do this or how slow you do this. It doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong in this. Just allow yourself to slowly or quickly open your heart. And as you move your guards one by one, you see this bright, beautiful white light emanating from the cracks, from the walls, from the spaces that you're creating. And this light is so beautiful and so welcoming and makes you feel so safe that you allow yourself to remove these walls and these guards quicker and quicker until there aren't any more left. And you allow yourself to walk into this bright, beautiful white light. And it feels so good here, so welcoming and so safe and so familiar. You just keep walking through that beautiful light until you get to this beautiful, lush green garden. And you can hear the birds chirping, you see butterflies and beautiful green trees and flowers And it feels absolutely blissful and joyful here, and absolutely familiar. And you just walk along this beautiful garden. You just walk along this beautiful little trail until you get to the center of the garden. And at the center of the garden, you notice that there's a mirror here. And you don't feel scared to look at the mirror. You feel like it's completely safe as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation. And you look at this mirror, and instead of looking at this mirror with fear and anxiety and stress and hate, you see yourself with compassion and love, and you feel safe. And as you look at yourself deeper and deeper with grace, you feel seen and heard, understood, safe, protected, and unconditionally loved. And you just continue to look at this mirror, and you see yourself just beautifully and perfect as you are. And suddenly you start to see certain things appear on your clothes or on your body. And you're not afraid of these things. What you realize is that they're actually books, stories that you've created around boundaries. And what you're going to do is you're going to take each story that you see, each book that is appearing on your body, you're going to take it off gently and compassionately, one by one, and you're just going to drop it on the ground. And as you take off each story one by one, you feel lighter and freer and safer. Lighter, freer, and safer. Lighter, freer, and safer. And then you look around and you notice that you no longer have any stories, any books on you. And as you look more, you realize that there are rules all around you. And these might look like rulers or they might not. It's completely up to you. There is no right or wrong in this. And if you are hearing any little voices, I want you to let them all go now, because you are completely safe to let these rules go. And what I want you to do is one by one, compassionately take off each rule that you've created around boundaries and who you are. And you're going to let them go one by one, feeling lighter and freer and safer. Lighter, freer, and safer. Lighter, freer, and safer. Good, good. You look around and you notice that you no longer have any stories. You no longer have any rules. But what you do notice is there are little, maybe balls. It doesn't matter what they look like or what they are, but you are not afraid of them because you know that they are experiences, attachments to anything that is preventing you from fully and completely setting boundaries and standing strong in them. And what you're going to do is you're going to take them off of you one by one, gently and compassionately. And as you take them off one by one, gently and compassionately, you feel freer and lighter and safer. Freer, lighter, and safer. Freer, lighter, and safer. And you look at the mirror once more and you notice that you can no longer see anything on your body and you feel absolutely amazing. And now what I want you to do is you see a match appear in your hand and that match lights on fire, and I want you to set it to the pile of stories and rules and experiences around boundaries, and you're going to light them all on fire, totally and completely releasing them, totally and completely washing them away from your life permanently, so that you can create empowered stories, so that you can stand strong in your own rules and own stories around boundaries. And you watch all of those unserving boundaries, rules, stories, and experiences burn. And as they burn, you feel freer and lighter and safer. Freer, lighter, and safer. Freer, lighter, and safer. And they've completely burned. They're no longer there. And you look at yourself in the mirror one more time. And you feel completely seen, heard, understood, protected, safe, and unconditionally loved. And you send yourself so much gratitude. And you start to walk away from the mirror, knowing that anytime you want to come here, you're allowed to. And you walk through the beautiful green garden. And you just keep going through that beautiful green garden. You walk back into the beautiful white light. Back into your heart. And you can put the guards up if you desire, though it is not required. And you're going to come back into the earth. You're going to come back into your body. You're going to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. Ooh, that is our releasing meditation that we have for you. Ooh. I hope that you feel good. I hope that, I need a second. I just spilled water out of my mouth. I hope that you feel good. I hope that you feel lighter and freer and safer. I want you to listen to your body, because when I do these meditations, they do reset and rewire your nervous system. So if you're feeling exhausted, if you feel like you need to rest, I want you to listen to your body and very much honor yourself. And I want you to make sure that you drink plenty and plenty of water. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about how to actually create these boundaries, how to stand strong in them, and how to create an action plan to really be able to do this. So please make sure that you join me tomorrow. I will go live at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. So please be there. If you watch the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay. If you love the meditation, let me know that you love the meditation. I love hearing that you love the meditation. I love hearing how it worked for you. So if you have any feedback, please provide. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave questions. And I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you all later. Bye.